6. In many ways, Gabe is a typical teenager. He's about to graduate high school. He's got to find a job because the one that he has hosting a late night radio show is more for fun than money. Gabe's parents are on his back about work and school, and he has a crush on his best friend, Paige. You know, typical teenage stuff. However, Gabe is different from most other typical teenagers in one regard. Gabe was born as Liz. For the first 18 years of his life, Gabe lived as a woman. However, he has decided that now it is time to stop hiding and to live the life that he actually wants to. The challenges that Gabe faces and how those around him deal with his transition is the focus of Beautiful Music for Ugly Children, a new novel written by Kristen Cronin Mills and published in 2013. First off, I love this book. I've recently rediscovered YA Lit in preparation for becoming an English teacher, and I can say that this book is everything that I could hope that young adult literature could aspire to be. Told in the first person, Beautiful Music details about 2 or 3 months in Gabe's life, right after graduation. While most of his schoolmates are just out having a good time, Gabe is realizing that all the difficulties that face him and the decision of his going public. He's told his family, but they are not really receptive to this. They call it his choice, but really it's not his choice. The scenes where him and his family are basically kind of rediscovering themselves and reconnecting on a very basic level are some of the most poignant and touching in the book. Adding to Gabe's problems is that he has developed a crush on his best friend Paige. Paige has been Gabe's best friend since he was Liz, and they pretty much grew up together. Paige has been Gabe's strongest supporter, often pushing him to continue his personal journey of growth into fully realizing and becoming Gabe. But would Paige understand if Gabe comes to her and says he has these feelings for her? So that things can get a little bit awkward. Gabe does have 2 things that make him happy, which are pretty fun. He has a friendship with a next door neighbor named John, who's a really old hippie looking dude who was like a DJ back in the day, a real famous radio disc jockey, and his house is just filled with records. And him and Gabe bond over the records and music at a really interesting level. Gabe also has a weekly radio show entitled Beautiful Music for Ugly Children. That he broadcasts every Friday night at midnight on his local radio station. The show does begin to draw a small following known as the Ugly Children Brigade, and they often perform random acts of craziness at Gabe's on-air prompting. The scenes from the radio broadcasts provide a really nice kind of humorous balance to some of the heavy dramatic things that are going on in Gabe's life, and provide some zest and pop to the book. Here, I'll read a little bit from this. My show tonight is about guitar solos. Dumb, but it works all right. Some of it is heavy metal hairband bullshit, of course, but it's still useful for getting out the jams, and I'm not above an air guitar solo or 2. I managed to plug in some Zeppelin and Pink Floyd's, so that's worth it. My chatter is good too, or better at least. I didn't say anything about the job, but a nice Facebook page deserves a mention. Alright, Ugly Children Brigade, I found your Facebook page and wow, just wow. I still don't understand why you do it, but you rock. Haha, I made a pun. And talking to you is the best part of my week. And I think you'll like tonight's task. Ready? Find as many garden creatures as you can, gnomes especially, and create a party for them somewhere in town. Just make sure that you put everyone back in their gardens when you're finished taking pictures, alright? No stealing. So this kind of crazy antics provide a nice contrast to the seriousness of the topic that the novel is about. It works out well, and the message of understanding and tolerance is not shoved down your throat. It's more of a human story about how one person has, this is how they are, this is who they are, and this is their life. They don't force it into you as a reader. They let you sit back and listen to this person's story and make up your own mind. You throw in a constant music references and quirky chapter titles that relate different sorts of celebrities to Elvis, like Lady Gaga is the new Elvis because she's got a crazy wardrobe too, and Harry Potter is the new Elvis because they're both magic, and you've got a smart, witty, yet touching and emotional book. There are, I love this book, and as much as I love this book, there are a couple of things that also that I should mention about the book, though. There is a fair amount of profanity in the book. The subject matter can be a little bit much for young teens. I'd recommend it for ages 16 and up. And also, the ending is a bit cliche in that everything gets kind of tied up into a nice bow. It's a nasty habit that young adult literature has sometimes, where they get the nice happy ending, because there's not really acknowledging. Although Gabe ends on a moment of happiness and everything, it doesn't really acknowledge the long, hard road that he does have ahead. However, these are some minor quibbles, as the book does the thing that I think all really good literature should do, and that's get the conversation started. Once we have the conversation about issues that we don't normally think about or are somewhat seems marginalized, such as transgender issues, then we can stop ignoring them and pretending they don't exist and make real progress. Thank you.